What's up, Warriors? Welcome back to the channel. I'm JR, and welcome to a special DIY edition of Warrior House Survival. Yes, you heard that right. Following a recent Tower Garden video and an emergency preparedness food video, I got asked a lot of questions about other areas of preparedness. And since Warrior House DIY is not just about woodworking and home repair, it's about all areas of DIYing in your life, figured what a great opportunity it is to share with you what me and my family do to be ready for all different types of events. I'm going to break this down for you as short and concise as possible to get you prepared as quickly as possible. And I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I'm going to leave links down below for everything that I talk about. Some of those links, full disclosure, will be commissionable links. If you decide to purchase from them, just know you're helping to support me, my family, and this channel. The rest of those are just there for your reference, and let's jump into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about is automotive preparedness. Having a kit in your car. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're always going to be in your car when you need it. You might be at a hotel and a storm comes through and you're stuck there for 72 hours. What do you have in your car that you can get to relatively quickly that can help you get through that time? Maybe restaurants are shut down because the power is out. And these are scenarios that are more common than you think. My family lived through Hurricane Ian. We were in Cape Coral, Florida when it hit. We were there for 6 days only because we couldn't even leave. I-75 had 11 miles underwater and you couldn't go north. Anywhere you found a fuel station, if they had power, was already out or had extremely long lines. You guys know me, I've got 6 kids. We don't want to sit in a line for 4 hours to get fuel with 6 kids. So what do you got in your car that can get you by if you're sheltering in place, which is what we were doing. And so the first thing up would be an emergency kit that's going to have medical supplies in it, trauma bandages or quick clot. If you have anybody who takes blood thinners in your family, that's something to be aware of. And then the rest of your supplies. We'll open this bag up, just give a quick once over. I don't want to do a whole deep dive on this video today. I want to get you guys just the essentials and then share some links so that you can research a little bit further on your own what meets your needs. This is a kit that is readily available on Amazon, but then I added a bunch of other stuff to it that I thought would be essential for our family's needs. And so I've added a slightly higher level of trauma care to my kit. That's the Firefighter-Paramedic in me. You guys can do what you need to do for you, your family, your pets, etc. But you guys get the gist of it. You've got basic medical needs in there, and different types of ointments and Benadryl and whatever you feel that you need to carry. I think there's a list of basic medications that should be in everybody's vehicle and on possession at all times, which is going to be your Tylenol, Advil, Benadryl for any allergy type conditions, bacitracin ointments for cuts and scrapes, burn gels, things like that. And then again, check your expiration dates as well. As far as the rest of this kit is concerned, most of this is the stuff that comes with this kit pre-made from Amazon. So you're going to have your flashlight, your compass, a water bottle, caddy to clip onto your belt there, an emergency whistle if you need to get help and people are not able to see you but they can hear you, and then cordage, bracelets, never a bad thing to have on you. Cordage, ropes everywhere. My boys love playing with paracord and making things out of them, and the reason I never say no is because I know that there's always going to be rope somewhere with us no matter where we are. And then you'll get into some of the survival blankets, the Mylar blankets, things like that. On the other side of this kit, you're going to have light fishing equipment, carabiners, more Mylar, more cordage, a set of silverware, things like that, a multi-tool, and a knife, and all of those are extremely essential things to use as well. Let's pack this up, and we're going to move into the other automotive kit that we keep on us at all times as well. This kit is a little bit more trauma related, like I said, so we do keep this in our vehicles, but you know what, the other thing that we do is if we're going on a hike, we're going to throw this thing in the hiking backpack, we're going to throw it in the diaper bag, we're going to throw it in the stroller, depending on where we're going and the terrain that we're getting into. We're going to have every need met, and it's also covering most, if not all, of the Boy Scout 6 essentials, which our oldest kids can tell you about. Now this is the automotive kit. This stays in our car. We never take it out unless we're doing our inventory checks on it. Now you heard me mention about checking the expiration dates on any medications you have, but as far as automotive kits and the rest of your supplies, you should be checking them at least monthly. If not monthly, definitely 6 months. And please, please, please don't let your supplies go longer than a year. There are certain things that will break down and then they will be rendered useless. But onto this automotive kit. In this particular one, this is a bag that we found at REI. We keep this extra pocket empty, and when we're about to go on a road trip, we'll stuff this thing with like Cliff Bars and things like that, just to have a little bit extra on. That's not including the extra box of granola bars or whatever it is that we're bringing for the kids. in the car. It's extra emergency food. In the top pocket of this, we're going to have fire starting capabilities, we're going to have matches, we're going to have fire gel, we're going to have a flashlight, and those are going to kind of just be our ways to get light and heat should we ever need anything like that. Are we talking about our car flipping over in a ditch and being stranded in the snow? Who knows, right? We want to be prepared for literally anything and everything, and we don't want to be scared about it. That's what we also want to convey the message to our kids, that we've got this under control. But let's take a quick peek at what else we've got inside this bag, what other goodies we've got in there. Basic first aid, nothing crazy. Bandages, heat packs and cold packs I think are essential to have in vehicles. Depending on where you live in the country, you may not need both of those. And then just a little travel medic kit that's going to have your basic medications in there. You can swap that thing out when they're getting close to expiration dates again. Duct tape, 100-mile-an-hour tape. It works pretty much up to 100 miles an hour, and you could pretty much bet on that. Glow sticks are going to be important for a little extra lighting, and then more trauma bandages. We've had family members in the past that have been on blood thinners, so we've always wanted to have things like quick clot and more bandages. And so again, we're really heavy on the trauma and the wound care and things like that. And then as far as survival and stuff like that is concerned, a 2-person emergency bivvy. You guys know about the silver Mylar emergency blankets, and those are pretty good, right? They're gonna reflect about 90–95% of the body heat back onto the body, even though they're flimsy little Mylar. This is basically the same thing with an orange exterior on it. And so, you know, you can make all the jokes that you want in the comments down below, but basically if you're wrapped up in this, you're going to be pretty warm. You throw a couple heat packs, which we keep in the bottom of there, down in the bottom of that. You're going to add a little bit extra heat to that. So that we're talking about winter emergencies now, if you're stuck in the car. We know that one of these will be able to hold me as an adult and at least one, if not two, of our kids. And we're looking at our kids right now are 10 and younger, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 6 months old at the time of this recording, right? So my wife can be in one with a couple kids. I can be in one with a couple kids. We can be bundled up. We've got a couple extras of these in the vehicle as well. I know these are scary scenarios to talk about, but this is why we talk about this stuff, because it's important information. It's just important to be prepared. And if you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We don't ever want to let our kids down. We always want to make sure that we've got their best interests at heart, our spouse's best interest at heart. And that's why I just believe in this preparedness all through and through. My wife is actually the one that encouraged me to jump on here and make a video about it. She's like, you know, more people need to know about this stuff. More people need to know how to take care of themselves in a situation. And we're going to talk about another couple items here in just a moment here that actually touch on maybe the possibility of you know, extended power outages and things like that we've seen with excessive weather. Right now we're entering the winter season at the time of this recording. We're looking at a lot of big snowstorms breaking out. And so we'll jump into that. We'll talk about this big green machine over here right now though, because you guys have been probably watching the video wondering what the heck is in that and what is it all about. So 2 things that I'm going to say. 1, extended disaster preparedness. That is what this big green box is for, and this is our go bag. 2 completely separate scenarios. Extended disaster preparedness. During Hurricane Ian, we pulled this guy out of the storage closet that it was in inside of our house. We put it in the front hallway. The storm wasn't even done passing, and we opened it up. And for the next 12 days, this box stayed open. What is in here, you might ask, and what in the world could we need it for in a disaster situation? Well, there's more than enough supplies in here, and we didn't even need all of it, but this mostly comes from mine and my wife's backpacking excursions prior to having kids. We haven't quite gotten back into it a whole lot yet, but we plan on doing that again down the road. So we have an extra tent. I'm just going to start setting this stuff all aside. Sleeping pads. We didn't need any of this during the hurricane. Trust me, the kids wanted to get into it. We didn't get into the camp shovel or the extra fishing leader and go fishing, so to speak. There was plenty of fish washed up on the driveways, but we weren't really eating them. There's a hatchet in here. If this tote was in your possession and you're out camping or it's in your RV, things like that, this is going to have everything that you probably need to get by with. This is just an extra waterproof bag. It's a dry bag. It's good for storing lots of different things. We use it for stuffing in things like our 5-gallon solar shower. This really came in handy during the hurricane. During Hurricane Ian, we lost power for 12 days. We were out of water for I think 3 or 4 days. There was no electricity, no power, no cell phone, no internet. we fired up our Starlink satellite internet, and we were able to get Wi-Fi to all the neighbors. And a lot of the neighbors had pools. So we were able to get clean water out of a couple of the pools. It was cold, but we let the bag just bake in the sun all day. And then my wife was able to get a nice warm shower at night after the kids were down. And the rest of this is just gonna be like portable toilets. We keep those in there, and more hand warmers and stuff like that. Moving on to some of the more essential things that were way more relative to us during Hurricane Ian. The Coleman camp stove. I think that everybody should own a Coleman camp stove that fires off of propane. We actually cooked every single meal on this on our back porch. We joked that we were basically camping in a concrete tent, which is essentially what it is. So, Coleman camp stove, set up really easy, work great in all of your emergency and disaster preparedness type situations. We've got a fold up tree saw, we've got more fly fishing gear to go with our fly fishing kit that's over here. And this is all the stuff that we're just gonna take with us on an extended trip, take it with us in a camper, things like that. And then you got our backpacks, our hiking backpacks. And I've got a 45, she's got a 30. Those are loaded up. I think she's running about 12 and a half, 13 pounds, and I'm running a little bit closer to 15 pounds. And inside of there, we've got 2-person tents. We've got all of our camping cookware and things like that, plenty of tarps and more cordage. I know that we've got sleeping bags in there as well. And this is what we were able to hike with and backpack with when we used to just kind of go out and do our day hikes and set up a camp on our own. So I'm not going to get back into the camping stuff. That's for a whole nother video. You guys understand that those tools are not only good for your family camping and fishing trips, but they're also good for your preparedness. Now let's move on to the go bag. What is a go bag? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bag that you grab when you've got to go. Now, we're not bugging out for emergency scenarios and things like that. You want to talk prepper talk, hit me up in the comments, hit me up at my email down below, and we can have chats about that all day long. What my family uses our go bag for is anytime we go. Anytime we go anywhere. If we go for a weekend getaway, maybe we drive up to Chicago to see family, we drive down to Florida to visit. Anytime we go anywhere, we grab the green backpack. And when we travel, again, with a family of 8, right? It's me, my wife, and 6 kids. And in the back of our car, we've essentially got one giant green suitcase, which is about the size of this tote. We've got the go bag. We've got my laptop bag for any recording equipment and stuff like that that we might need. We've got 2 pack and plays for the littles. And then we've got the kids' small backpacks. I'm trying to think if we're missing anything. Sometimes we throw a couple extra things on top on that top layer, like we might disassemble the stroller if we're going for a trip where we're gonna need that. And maybe a couple extra blankets and stuff like that. But really, we've packed our entire family into the back of a Suburban with a bench seat. And so we're able to go. But what's in the go bag? Get to it. Well, I'm gonna tell you guys, right before we walk out the door, I open this up, I throw our phone chargers in there, and I throw my toiletry bag in there. Now this bag stays on me at all times whenever we go anywhere. And there's a reason for that. But let's get down to the supplies that are kept in here. In the side pocket, we're gonna keep our water filtration devices. Why do we need water filtration? Because why wouldn't we have water filtration? We always have that with us at all times, and I think everybody should. We have 2 different types. We're gonna use a Sawyer Quick setup, and we're also going to have a Cated-in pump setup. These are 2 different types of filtration devices, and they can be used in different applications as well. Moving on into the front pocket, again, we're big on being medically prepared, things like that. We keep a blood pressure cuff in there, a stethoscope, a light, anything that we would need to, pulse oximetry for being able to give a quick check on anybody who might be experiencing some kind of an episode that's maybe not necessarily an emergency episode, because again, full disclosure, if you're feeling like you're having an emergency, call 911. Don't watch this video. Don't do it all yourself. Don't ever hesitate to bring in the emergency professionals to handle the situation. Moving on to the side pocket over there, it's just gonna be a little bit more supplies. A field guide, in my case, it's an SOP guide from my paramedic firefighter days. In your case, it could be a field survival guide. A little secret about emergency preparedness and survival, the majority of it comes down to comfort, especially when it comes to the kids. So creature comforts, lots of games, Monopoly, the game of life, all that fun stuff, Pokemon cards, Tamagotchis, whatever it is that they're playing with, have an extra set of those with batteries ready to go in your emergency supply kit, things like the big tote that's going to come out. If you live in Florida where you're exposed to hurricanes and things like that. I'll leave a link down below to our family channel where we went through the hurricane. You guys can see the kids were playing games and they were laughing and having a good time the whole time. They were calm the whole time. There was all sorts of noises and wind and scariness going on around them, but we remained calm all the way through it for them. Now let's get into the rest of the bag. Now this is a big bag. It can carry a lot. Like I said, I'll throw my toiletry bag right in there, but a couple of things that are going to come right out of the top. A simple mess kit. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. Again, links are down below for all of this stuff. This is a mess kit that's going to have a bowl and a pan and a cup inside it and another set of silverware inside of that. We're also going to have a camping stove. I like this Jetboil one. There's a lot of really good ones available, but this particular one sets up very easy. You're going to have a simple stove, a little burner on top right there, your can of fuel below it, and then you can fold your handle out. And really all this is for boiling water. Now we'll get into that in just a moment. Let's get into the rest of the bag here. You may have a particular set of tools that you like to keep inside your bag and probably locked up at all times. We're also going to have our 72-hour survival food supply in there. Is this 72 hours of food for my family of 8? No, it is not. I'm going to bring another tote with me that's going to have a little extra, but this is going to be in the bag at all times. And 4Patriots does a really good job of putting these kits together. I'm not being paid by them to talk about this product at all. I just know from a budget consciousness standpoint, my family likes their products for the best bang for our buck. We're going to get the most food, a little lower on the end of sodium for the best value. And at the end of the day, we can stretch these servings out a little bit further than what they say on the packaging. Every family is going to be different, so you're going to need to look at the serving sizes and the calorie intake and things like that. You're not necessarily sitting down to 3 squares a day during these emergency weather-related events. You're just getting calories in. So you can figure out what your family needs, and then you can calculate your inventory off of that. In the bottom of this bag, we're going to keep another emergency preparedness kit, first aid kit, things like that. We're going to have all sorts of different supplies. You guys can kind of see that. You got your Benadryls again, your ointments and bandages. We're also going to keep extra sets of silverware, lots of baby wipes, fire starting capabilities, burn gels, ointments, bandages, more bandages, in a hard case. And why do I do the hard case? Because it creates a hard bottom for this bag, which makes it a lot nicer for transporting around, and it makes it stand on its own really well. Also keep in here a solar charging kit using a Goal Zero kit that's going to end up having backup batteries and more backup batteries and more backup batteries and more backup batteries. Lots of backup batteries. And you'll notice that I'm using those Noon hydration tablet tubes for the AAA batteries. Use what you've got and then write on it with a permanent marker so you know what it is. So you don't think you have Noon hydration tablets when you actually just have AA batteries. But there's gonna be lots of batteries in here, and then these can connect to the USB cords, to your phone and other devices that you might need to charge. An emergency radio is also good to have in this kit, and that's pretty much gonna wrap up the go bag. Now, is this it? Is this all of it? No, guys, the go bag is what we grab, like I said, when we're about to walk out the door. We take it with us on any trip. There's a couple other things that have to come with us on those trips. We need a little bit extra food. And is it something that's going to take up a whole lot of space? No, hold on a second. It doesn't need to take up a whole lot of space. The 4Patriots, just like I talked about with the 72-hour kits, and I also showed in a previous video with the 4-week emergency survival food kits, also makes some standalone kits. In this case, I think this was the fruits and vegetable snack kit. Well, what I did was I ordered a couple of them because 2 of those will stack on top of these black containers. Then you can stack all your containers together and have a couple of these on top. But instead what we did was we took out all those fruit and veggies, we condensed them into other kits, and we just added other things in here. Look at that, we even have sparklers in here. Why would we need sparklers? Well, for 2 reasons. One, it's good for starting fires and making a lot of sparks. It's also good for the kids. If you're in an area that's not dry and you're having an emergency situation, let them have at it. Obviously with safety gloves and safety goggles or whatever you do with your kids for their sparkler use. But I wrote 72 on this kit because we've got a few of these totes, and when we're about to go on a vacation or a trip, we just know I can grab the green bag, I can grab the 72 and be out the door. Talking a little bit more in depth about this 4-week emergency food kit. Now, there's a lot of really great meals in here, but one thing I wanted to point out is that they don't come full to the very top when you've got all this food in here. There's a little bit of room, a little bit of airspace in there. So one of the other things that we've done is that over the years we've had Mountain House and August Farms and a bunch of other different brands of emergency preparedness food that we've used. And so we've just condensed them into here for easier storage. So that's pretty much what I've got for you. I hope that, that this was helpful. When it comes down to emergency preparedness, it's a tough topic, right? We worry about our kids, we worry about our spouses. We want to make sure that we're able to provide for them in all sorts of scenarios in life. And then we start talking about it with our friends and with our family members, and we want them to be taken care of as well. And you know, there's lots of little tips and tricks that we've talked about in this video, like having creature comforts for your kids and things like that. But one thing that I can't stress enough is just the need to go and do it. If you feel like you need to be prepared, I hate to say it like this, but you're already too late, right? So get on it and do it, and do it well, but don't do it knee-jerk, right? Do your research. I left a boatload of links down below for you guys. You can click on those links. Like I said, if you buy from some of them, I'll earn commission from some of them, but not all of them, I don't think. And at the very least, it'll take you to Amazon, where you can start to research and read the reviews on lots of other things that are out there. Again, read the reviews, read what other people have experienced with these products and things like that, and see for yourself if it's something that's going to be a good fit for you and for your family. I only like Amazon because of the shipping. It's fast, right? If I want something, I can get it really quickly, and there's nothing wrong with going directly with 4Patriots website. I hope that this has been helpful for you guys. Again, preparedness is something that's very near and dear to me and my wife's heart. Taking care of our kids in any scenario possible, taking care of friends and family, things like that. Educating friends and family so that they can take care of themselves is also extremely important. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk about all the doom and gloom and conspiracy theory stuff. At the end of the day, if you think that the government's coming to help you, they're stressed and they're taxed, right? They're not coming as fast as you think that they are. And that's where I would say they've done their job to prepare you by telling you on their websites, like FEMA's website says, make sure you've got at least 72 hours on hand at all times for every member of your household, and 1 gallon of drinking water per person per day for everybody in your family, right? These are the things that we need to hold as core principles when it comes down to preparedness, and I'm happy to have these discussions with you a little bit further. But go ahead and leave me a comment down below. What else would you like to learn about? Would you like to hear about? We could try and get another video out on that relatively quickly here. Obviously, you can connect with me as well that way. But if you wouldn't mind, leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already so that you don't miss any subsequent videos. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Be safe.